It's time for the stupidest name ever. It's the Tittle Tattle with Kickoff Kevin.
All right, Bobby, which program do you think is more overrated every year heading into the tournament, Virginia or Purdue?
You know what's funny about these two programs is they both were ones that lost to 16s, and that's the only 2 times it's ever happened.
Oh, wow.
So
I didn't realize
Virginia
that.
lost to a 16.
Well, a while back.
5? I don't know.
18?
Pandemic screws me up, but yeah. I was going to say 5, but 4 years ago. 23. We're 23.
5, yeah.
5 years ago. They lost to a 16, first one to ever do it. Now, they did come back and win the national championship the next year. It's quite the bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
Purdue this year, and it's an even bigger upset because the team that beat Purdue wasn't supposed to be in the tournament.
That was awesome.
It's a big,
FDU.
man. And with Virginia, they just play so slow, and their style allows for a team that if they are yanging their yin and they're yanging it good, and
That sounds dirty,
and
but
the
I know
yin's
you're
not
not.
really yin very good. It's easy for a team to go, let's capitalize on the fact that they can't come back from a lot of points down because that's not their style. Purdue, it's not a style issue. They just kind of suck when tough gets going.
I feel like going into the year, they had a hard time picking 4 number ones. Like, really. And then when they came down to it, they're like, do we just throw Purdue in there? I mean, we have to.
Virginia's tournament record since winning it all in 2019 is a loss to 13 seed Ohio, NIT berth, and this first round loss to Furman. That's terrible. They've lost to a 13, Furman, because they were 4. What was Furman then?
13? No.
13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
whatever it was. Because I had Virginia in the Calcutta and I lost them like an idiot. I bought them.
Oh,
Furman was a 13.
13.
Okay, so there you go. 13 and 13. That was 2 13s and 1 NIT berth. Since making the Final Four in 1980, Purdue has claimed 10 Big Ten regular season titles, made 31 NCAA tournament appearances, and secured a number 1 seed 4 times. None of those teams made it back to the Final Four.
Ooh.
And they lost in the first round.
So who you thinking with that question?
I'm still going to go Virginia, honestly. But I thought Purdue had the most pressure on them to win this year because, again, they came in as a 1. They had Edey. He's a player of the year. They were playing a team that didn't average over like 6'3.5".
Yeah.
And you would see
That's
Edey
right.
rebounding over 3 guys, but I don't think the last 9 minutes of the game, maybe 10 minutes of the game, Edey even shot the ball.
Well, yeah, as soon as he got the ball, 3 dudes were surrounding him.
Okay,
Which-
but if it's 3 tiny guys, jump with them.
But he couldn't move. It's almost like their hands were covering his eyes. Like the only
That's all
chance
they were doing
Their
was
only
face
chance
guarding.
was to just cover his eyes.
Then find somebody that's on the outside.
His eyes were covered.
But they don't have to.
Couldn't see him.
They just make noises. All right, guys, we go back. If you guys will meow like a cat when they cover my eyes, I'll find you.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Purdue because I don't think it's always a style problem with them. They do play a little slower, obviously, but Virginia really gets beat mostly based on the kind of ball they play. Purdue just seems to choke.
Yeah.
My opinion. Kevin, you?
I'm going to go with Purdue as well, especially over the longevity of it. Virginia's just more recent, but Purdue, like, think about the teams even just 10 years ago with the Robbie Hummel. I know he got hurt, but still, every year they somehow find a way to choke.
31 NCAA tournament appearances. 4 number 1 seeds. Never made it to the Final Four. This year and last year, they choked. Yeah, that sucks. Next question.
Which 1 seed impressed you more with their big win over the weekend, Houston or Alabama?
Here's the thing about Houston that was impressive. Now, they did get pushed. And then Sasser played pretty well, but still limited. He had over 20, right, in game 2? Will you look at his stat line? Because I was flipping back and forth watching that game. Now, Alabama won both games by more than 20 points. Auburn was giving Houston a run till the second half, and Houston was able to pull away. Now, Sasser was limited, but what was his point? What was his how many points he scored in that second game?
22.
Okay, so they're able to win these games without and with a limited Sasser. That's impressive because it's only going to help them later, and Sasser's going to be back, and that's obviously going to help them. But Alabama is so good. As they say in the famous song, so good, so good.
So good.
Yeah.
Sweet Caroline. Yep.
So I'm going to
That's
go.
not Sweet Caroline.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's David Allan Coe.
No. Sweet Caroline.
Dun, dun, dun.
Good times never feel so good. So
good.
good. So good.
So
So
good.
good.
I'm an idiot.
Okay.
You were right. I was wrong.
I'm going to go
I had
with
to sing that out.
I'm going to go with Alabama, but both are really strong looking.
I'm with you on Alabama because they proved that they don't need Brandon Miller. The first game, he scored 0 points, and they scored 96 as a team. That just stuck it to you. That was just like, oh, yeah? You got any questions? We can't play without Brandon Miller? Watch this. I love that.
Yeah, Alabama's so good.
So good.
They're so good. So good. So
So
good.
good.
That's sweet Caroline.
But both are amazing. Both those teams, I mean, they could actually play each other in the championship game, I
could.
believe, based on the bracket.
That'd be fun.
Let me see here. Alabama plays San Diego State next. Creighton and Princeton. On the other side, yeah, Houston. And I mean, Houston and Texas playing Kansas City, if they both win their games, that's the game until the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next.
After 2 big wins, do you think Princeton has a legit shot at making it to the Final Four?
Well, I do think Princeton, I think they get a little look versus Creighton. You know, I'd be curious to know what that line is. We're going to come up with our parlay live here in a minute. But I'd be curious to know what that Princeton-Creighton line is as of right now. But they'd have to do that, then beat Alabama? No.
That's
you say
tough.
Final Four? No. I don't think they have the athletes to beat a super talented team like Alabama that is very athletic. Let's look at who they beat. Arizona. You know what? Arizona has pretty good athletes. It's a good team. Huge upset. Arizona doesn't have Alabama athletes. Missouri, who cares?
Yeah,
They're fine.
they're pretty average.
They're fine. Yeah. So Creighton, I wouldn't say an extremely athletic team. I think a really well-coached team, a team that can shoot, a team that does stuff right. But I think if they're able to beat Creighton, let me see if I can guess the spread. Because I haven't seen it. I'm going to say
Aren't they all kind of close right now?
I haven't looked at a single spread.
Okay. No, I haven't either, but I'm just assuming.
I looked at the Arkansas spread. That was it. But Princeton, Creighton, I'm going to guess it's Creighton +4. No, sorry, Princeton +4.
It's Creighton minus 9.5.
So
Princeton
so
plus
it'd be +4.
9.5.
Yeah.
Well, that's not close.
Yeah, that's not close at all.
Jeez,
That's the biggest one.
I was giving them too much credit.
Yeah.
Dang, really? I'm gonna have to.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's the biggest one out of this next round.
I didn't watch a lot of Princeton. What is they shoot well?
Yeah.
Is that it?
They're not huge. They shoot well. They play consistent defense. They take care of the ball. I think if you looked at turnovers, it's not really a stat I dialed in on, but I bet they didn't have over 10.
Wow.
You don't want double-digit turnovers,
Mhm.
obviously. So, no, they can't get to the Final Four. I'd love to see it, though. Except here's the thing. I like a school that's an underdog, but when it's a rich kid school, it makes me, it's back to even almost.
An Ivy League school.
Yeah, so it's like I'm always rooting. You know, here's Princeton, a 15 seed. They beat Arizona. I love that. I love 15 over 2. Boom. They're playing Missouri. Great. I don't care. I don't care about Missouri. Those fans come at me all the time on Twitter and Instagram. I don't care. So good. You beat them. I don't care if they're SEC school. Beat them. But now it's like we really want them to go far. They're already blessed enough. Am I right?
Yeah. They're all rich.
All
and
rich
smart
kids
and
for the most
stuff.
part. Yeah. All smart and educated.
Yeah, they got everything.
You see, none of them are on scholarship, you know, because in the Ivy League, they don't give the scholarships.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's like the first
They don't,
team.
hey, because they don't need it.
Yeah.
They're all rich.
Wow.
and
All rich and
smart.
stuff.
So, you know what? I'm still going to pull for them over Creighton.
After all that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of hate. Here's my problem, and I'll be honest with you guys. I universally hate rich people a little less now that I am rich,
Interesting.
but I only like rich people
That worked for their
that
money.
worked for it and didn't have it past. So I can't hate every Princeton kid because at least one of them probably had a parent that was self-made.
Yeah, but they weren't.
I don't know about that, Eddie.
No. The guy in college playing,
Yeah.
I mean, he had a leg up.
Yeah. You're right about that. But
Right?
what if he didn't though? What if his parents aren't rich at all? Like some of those kids,
Then CBS needs to find him and do a little.
I agree with that. Like the
Little
Olympics
documentary.
montage before they swim,
Yes.
and they're like,
Yeah.
"Well, look at her. She came from this
Correct.
place, and she had all this struggle."
But they're gonna have a hard time finding that one.
They should be like, "This is the one kid that doesn't have a rich parent. He's like middle class. It's normal.
Yeah. It's like the outlier.
The one guy's like, hey,
He got a Jeep when he was 16 instead of a Maserati."
hey. So if you like Princeton, in this game, do you take the money line or do you take
No,
the points?
I don't take the money line.
Okay.
And we will talk about your situation in a minute, Eddie.
Thank you.
Your situation.
I would like to talk about that situation.
Yeah. But I don't take the money line. But I'm a gambler. You're a conservativer.
I am.
I'm a gambler. But I still wouldn't take the money line there.
And I'm a gambler because
You're not a gambler. You're a conservator.
Well, I'm a conservator because I only have $40, and once my
But it
$40
doesn't
are
matter.
done,
It's not about the dollars. It's about the unit.
no, it does matter.
No, it doesn't matter. Sometimes people make fun of you for betting $2, and I'm like, you guys have it wrong. It's how many units you bet. If you have $10 million in an account, and you're betting,
1 million.
no, follow me here. If you have $10 million in an account and you're betting $60, that's weak because that's not your unit. Your unit's probably $50,000. If my unit is usually $100, because I've been pretty fortunate and I made some good money this weekend, but that's usually $100. Now, if I bet 200, big, but to somebody whose unit's 100,000, that ain't. So you have to measure based on, it's all relative to what you're playing with, not even how much money you have, it's what you're playing with. When your unit is $1 and you bet $5, that's like me betting $500 just based on how we gamble. But you're a conservator, just generally, because anytime I'm like, should I hedge? What should I do? Should I cash out or should I keep rolling? Every time it's like, cash out. Every time.
I'm a conservator.
Right. I like that about you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm a gambler, baby. Sometimes I lose it all,
Yin and yang.
but I would take it. I'll go. I'll shoot for the stars. No, I don't think they'll make the Final Four. I don't think they really have a shot. I'd love to see it, though. And then I don't love to see it because it cancels out because they're rich. But then I remember, don't be a hater. There's probably at least one kid on there that deserves it. So then I'm back to, let's win it.
Okay.
All right, next.
Did this weekend prove that conference tournament championships are overrated?
I don't think they're overrated. But also, those games are played a lot quicker, too, than this. You win the game, you play the next day. Then the next day.
Yeah, it's tough.
At least here, in this quick hitting tournament, you get a day off in between if you win. It's just a different animal. So I don't think conference tournaments are overrated. I like the week before the NCAA tournament. I think conference tournaments are super exciting. I think it goes the first weekend, my favorite, conference tournaments, and then Sweet 16, Final Four, championship game. If I were rating the most fun I have watching basketball, those last 2 days of the conference tournaments are awesome because you have teams fighting to get in the tournament that would never get in a tournament. Some of those mid-majors. So, no, I don't think they're overrated, but Purdue won theirs.
Yep.
Duke won theirs, and Marquette won theirs.
Yep.
And you shouldn't take away from that. But, some people just choke when the lights come on, eat a little brighter. You know what I mean?
It's hard to go undefeated, man.
That's true.
It's tough.
And final one.
Speaking of Duke, after a convincing win versus Duke, is Tennessee now, do you think, have a good shot, legit shot to make the Final Four?
Tennessee's real good, by the way.
Yeah, they are.
I've watched them play myself. They're real good. And Vescovi's awesome. He can shoot. He'll play down and dirty. He'll play a 3 or a 4.
Mm-hmm.
If he's got to play a 4, he will. Not really his natural position, but that's the kind of kid you want on your team. Or playing him. I hate him because he's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But Tennessee's good. They're playing FAU. FAU's athletic, but man, I tell you what, FDU pushed FAU.
Yeah, they did.
We were watching that game. It was getting pretty late. I was like, dang, they may actually do this. They pulled away at the end. I'll say this, even more impressive was FAU beating Memphis. That was a very athletic Memphis team.
Yes.
So Tennessee beat Duke. And if I remember correctly, because I was in the arena just watching it up on the jumbo screen and then watching it on my phone occasionally when I could get service, it doesn't seem like that was actually much of a game. Or am I wrong?
No, Tennessee was beating them up.
Okay, because we never got to watch that one live unless they cut in. So Tennessee's going to play FAU. I think they can win that. And I think they can beat the winner of Kansas State, Michigan State. So much different than the Princeton draw at this point. I think Tennessee, if I were picking one of those 4 teams that's in the East, Florida Atlantic, Tennessee, Kansas State, Michigan State, I would pick Tennessee to make the Final Four there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
The only issue I have with Tennessee is that Rick Barnes always finds a way to choke something that he shouldn't.
See, I think that's why they won't this year. Because of that.
I think their draw is so, I'm not going to say strong. The FAU, they should win that game. I do think that.
Yeah.
What's the spread on that one? Because I feel like Tennessee, I'm going to say it's 4.5. I'm guessing 4.5 on every one of them.
I mean, that's the safe bet. I think.
I'm going to say it's Tennessee minus 4.5 or FAU plus 4.5, whichever way.
5. Tennessee minus 5.
Close.
So
Yeah,
that's
good. Great.
what I'd put it at. Kansas State, as they say, those guys, they have the dog in them.
That little point guard.
They have the dog. Kansas State has the dog in them.
Mm-hmm.
Desi Sills also really good. I just don't see Tennessee losing unless somehow the free throws to end the game are Rick Barnes shooting them.
He comes in. I'll take these
Because
boys.
you know he's going to miss them both if that's the case.
What I like about Tennessee is that Ziegler, is that his name? Point
Yes.
guard,
Yeah.
goes out, right? And so they have to make these adjustments. And I think these teams really are like, I don't know what to do here because usually they don't have a point guard. They don't have a good ball handler. So they kind of just take turns. And when you do that, it throws defenses off. And I think that's their advantage here.
You think it's an advantage they got worse? That's an interesting concept. I haven't heard that one, but I
Not
like
that they
it.
got worse, that they had to change things up and
like
really
it.
just
a hot take.
confuse
Well, they did get worse, though. You lose
for a bit. For a bit, they got worse. But I mean,
you lose a really great player that's your point guy. You do get worse.
no, I agree. But they're
But
not.
you think getting worse makes you better.
I think getting worse makes you change things. Makes you run offenses the way you normally wouldn't,
Which
and the
would
way
be
defenses would think that
difficult.
you'd have to.
Why not just have the center be the point guard and really screw them up? Just
Yeah,
do everything
yeah.
worse. Then you'd be
Yeah.
so good.
I've done that on 2K.
You have?
It works, man. It throws everyone off.
See? Why don't they do that? See, here's the play that no one does that I'm like, why doesn't anyone do this? And I talked to a couple coaches. I have the absolute, let's say, 55 seconds left on the clock. And it's not to the point where you're heaving threes, but maybe you need to shoot a three to get back in the game, or it's a 1-point game. I got the absolute play that works. That I've never seen a coach call it in his entire life.
Come on.
It's called the fake three-pointer. So what a player does, everybody's trying to get open out on the perimeter. You hit him with the ball. Everyone knows FP3 has been called. FP3! You may not call it that now because I've said it here. People
Right.
don't know what it is. So
You'll
at
change-
this
just
point,
give it another
just
name.
hold up the head of Malcolm in the middle and they'll know what it means. So fake three-pointer, F3P, fake three-pointer, fake point three, whatever.
It's okay.
I'm totally confused now.
It makes sense.
Imagine someone just shooting a three-pointer straight up, knowing the entire time he's not really trying to make it. He's shooting it a little short or a little long, and it's the whole time an alley-oop. But no one knows it. That nobody on the defense knows it. They're all waiting for the rebound on the three-point shot. Everything about the shot is a three-pointer. The jump, the release, you hold your hand, you do the circles like a three-pointer.
Yeah.
And then, but everyone knows you're missing it on purpose. The only person who's really going to jump for that ball that knows it's going to be short on purpose is the center. And you go, whoo, shoot it. And everyone's looking at it, ready to actually see it hit the rim and react to how, or the backboard.
Yeah, I see what
But
you're saying.
you know, I've never seen that called. How is the fake three-pointer not utilized? It's the greatest play I've ever thought of. It's the first one, but it's the greatest play I've ever thought of.
And you can run it over and over and over.
And they'll never know if you're actually shooting a three-pointer or
Correct.
not. You do it twice, they're even wondering if the real three-pointers are fake. So they're jumping up during real three-pointers, and then you're getting rebounds.
Talk about faking them out. That's good stuff.
It's amazing. I've never seen. Now, if someone can call in, I'll be amazed because the phone lines aren't open. Secondly, if someone tells me that this is a play, I won't believe it. And thirdly, I think it's the greatest play ever invented. Ever seen anything like it?
No.
No.
I need to get Muscle on the phone. Tell him.
No. Yep.
Oh,
in
man,
private. In private.
that's a good play though, right?
It is.
There you go.
I need your arms around me. I need to feel your touch.
Down,
Little
down.
cake for you. All right, final one.
Oh, going to the NFL here. After the Cowboys traded for Brandon Cooks, are you surprised at the lack of a market for free agent Odell Beckham?
No, I mean, I feel like he wants a whole lot of money for a whole lot of unproven. Not unproven as a career, but he wants a whole lot of money for a guy that we don't know really how good his leg is.
Yeah.
And he wants a whole lot of money.
And has he been staying ready? Like, what's he been
He
doing?
had a workout. He did have a workout, and I think.
I had 3 last week, so that's one.
Well,
two more better
no,
than
you
him.
worked out.
Oh.
He had a workout.
That was different.
Where teams come to, and I think like 8 teams showed up. I don't know the exact number, don't quote me on that part, but 8 to 10 teams showed up, I think, to watch, and that was it.
Okay.
I just think he wants too much money.
Yeah.
And so I do think there's interest. Aaron Rodgers wants him on the Jets.
Does he want everybody now?
He wants every single player.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wants every.
Doesn't matter how
He
old
wants
they
the
are.
whole league. Yes. Okay. So I think that's really a money issue. I think if you could, what you want, $20 million still? Is that the word?
He came out and said no over the weekend. It's
Oh,
not.
now he's disputing what?
Yeah. Well, reports are saying.
But they said it for a long time, and he never came out and said no.
Yeah.
So maybe what he's doing is lowering his price without saying he's lowering his price, because that would actually be embarrassing. So he's going, that's not true. But he could probably get to 20 with incentives. He's just not going to get 20 guaranteed.
No way.
He's been hurt twice now, right?
Yeah.
Like 2. Okay. It's a money issue. I still think he's probably got a good season and a half in the tank. I don't think he's a number 1. I think he's a really good number 2. And it's going to be hard to pay a really good number 2 $17 to $20 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't think there's any way you can pay him that. I mean,
What do you think?
I was thinking like a little bit more than, say, Juju got with the Patriots, so like 15 million. 12 to 15.
Man, okay, I can go 12. It ain't my money, so I'll go 100. Who cares?
Even I think that 15 would be too much.
Yeah, I think you have to incentivize his deal. And
Yeah.
you give him 12 with the option to make 20. And the first tweet coming out is Odell Beckham Jr. makes $20 million a year. It's like when Daniel Jones got $40 million a year, but then you realize that all the money up front guaranteed. In the end, he's getting $40 million a year for 2 years, not for 4, and they can actually cut him.
Yeah.
But give him that injury prone, probably still a really good number 2. That's it. Tittle, tattle over.